Long before Portugal existed as a nation, this city, then known as Bracara Augusta, was a vital Roman crossroads. Founded by Emperor Augustus over 2,000 years ago, it became the capital of the province of Galatia, but its enduring identity was forged not by legions, but by archbishops. For centuries, Braga was the seat of ecclesiastical power for the entire Iberian Peninsula, a status that explains its moniker as the Portuguese Rome. This immense influence is not merely historical text. It is etched into the very granite of the city's fabric. With more than 40 churches, their ornate Baroque facades competing for heavenly glory, the air itself seems to vibrate with the tolling of bells. To walk these streets is to understand how centuries of concentrated faith can shape a landscape, transforming a strategic outpost into a spiritual heartland where every cobblestone seems to hold a prayer. To stand on the rim of Ngorongoro is to witness the aftermath of an ancient, cataclysmic event. This is not the scar of a celestial impact, but a caldera, the world's largest intact and unflooded caldera, formed some 2 to 3 million years ago when a colossal volcano, once rivaling Kilimanjaro in height, collapsed in on itself. The result is a perfectly contained world spanning over 260 square kilometers, with its own climate and permanent water sources that sustain life year-round. This remarkable isolation has created one of Africa's highest densities of predators, fostering a unique, self-regulating ecosystem where generations of wildlife live and die without ever leaving the crater floor. It is a geological marvel, certainly, but more than that, it is a living laboratory, a sanctuary born from immense violence, now existing in a state of near-perfect, life-sustaining balance. Kilimanjaro's silhouette against the dawn is one of the most iconic on Earth. Yet this image of a single, monolithic peak is a beautiful geological illusion. The mountain is, in fact, a massive stratovolcano comprised of 3 distinct volcanic cones, each telling a different chapter of a violent history. Shira, the oldest, collapsed into a broad caldera nearly 500,000 years ago. Mawenzi stands as a jagged, eroded plug, its volcanic life long extinguished. Only Kibo, the youngest and highest cone, retains its classic shape, its summit crater still breathing sulfurous gases, a quiet confirmation that it is not extinct, but merely dormant. To ascend its slopes is to walk through this timeline, traversing 5 unique ecosystems sculpted by altitude and ancient lava flows. It is a profound journey across a geological infant, a monument not to permanence, but to the immense and patient power that builds worlds, and then patiently wears them away. When Captain Cook sailed this coastline in 1770, he saw in the colossal limestone reef the distinct silhouette of a medieval fortress, and the name Castle Point was born. But this is no man-made battlement. It is an immense, fossil-rich remnant of the Pleistocene epoch, a graveyard of ancient sea creatures solidified into stone. To the Maori people, this land has long been known as Rangiwakaoma, the place where the sky runs, a name that captures the sheer windswept scale of the landscape. Standing sentinel over both ancient reef and endless sky is the lighthouse, a stark white pillar erected in 1913. As one of the last manned lights in the country, its steady beam once represented a lonely human vigil against the power of the ocean. Here, the brief, determined history of humanity and the immense, patient story of the Earth are not just neighbors. They are bound together by wind and water. Here, at over 7,000 feet above sea level, the very definition of a desert is rewritten. These are not the sun-scorched dunes of the Sahara, but the Katpana, a landscape born of ice and water. For millennia, the colossal glaciers of the Karakoram have ground mountains into fine silt, which the powerful Indus River then carried and deposited in this valley. This is a desert of accumulation, not of attrition. The wind, funneling through the vast Skardu Valley, is the final sculptor, piling the glacial flour into these sweeping Barchan dunes that shift with the seasons. In winter, the paradox is complete. A blanket of snow settles upon the sand, creating a monochrome world where 2 extremes of nature meet in a silent, breathtaking truce. It's a profound reminder that landscapes are not static entities, but living records of immense geological forces, a story of fire and ice told in grains of sand at the roof of the world. To walk through Strasbourg is to navigate the very seam of Europe, a city where the tectonic plates of French and Germanic cultures have ground against each other for centuries. This duality is not a recent invention. It is written into the continent's oldest manuscripts. Here, in the year 842, the oaths of Strasbourg were sworn, a pivotal alliance recorded in the emerging languages of both realms. It was one of the first acknowledgments of a divided yet interconnected Europe, a legacy etched into the city's bones. You see it in the crooked, timber-framed houses of Petite France, which lean over the canals like ancient storytellers, and in the grand, orderly avenues that speak of Parisian influence. The sandstone of the cathedral, glowing pink at dawn, has absorbed the prayers of both traditions. Today, as the seat of the European Parliament, Strasbourg no longer represents a frontier of conflict, but rather a deliberate and hopeful confluence, a testament to the idea that from deep, historic divisions, a remarkable unity can be forged. Perched atop its lone, verdant hill, the town of Gruyere appears as a deliberate act of medieval strategy, a stone sentinel guarding the upper Saône Valley. For nearly 5 centuries, 19 successive counts ruled from this formidable castle, their dominion extending across the vital trade routes of the Prealps. But when the last count's fortunes failed in the 16th century, the source of the region's true power was revealed not in its fortifications, but in the lush pastures that surround it. The very geography that made this hill a strategic prize also created the perfect conditions for the alpine dairy farming that would make its name famous worldwide. The castle stands as a monument to a feudal past, yet the enduring legacy of Gruyere is something more elemental, a flavor born of the landscape, a testament to how the wealth of a region can shift from the hands of nobles to the richness of the soil itself. To understand Dunedin is to look past its familiar nickname as the Edinburgh of the South and see the forces that forged it. Its foundation in 1848 by Scottish settlers was a deliberate act of cultural transplantation, an attempt to build a Presbyterian ideal at the far end of the world. But it was the Otago Gold Rush, just over a decade later, that truly financed this vision, pouring immense wealth into the city and raising the magnificent Victorian and Edwardian architecture that still defines its character. These grand stone edifices, from the ornate railway station to the nation's first university, stand in stark contrast to their foundations, the rugged, sloping remnants of a massive extinct volcano. Here, ambition and geology collide. The city isn't merely a reflection of a distant homeland. It is a unique testament to how human history, driven by faith and fortune, can be profoundly shaped by the deep, volcanic bones of the land it claims. The name Interlaken, meaning between the lakes, is an elegant description, yet it only hints at the profound geological drama that birthed this valley. For over 10,000 years since the last ice age, the Lucina and Lombac rivers have carried sediment down from the high peaks, meticulously building this flat alluvial plain known as the Bodeli. This narrow isthmus, a mere whisper of land separating the glacial blue waters of Lake Thun and Lake Brienz, became the stage for human settlement. The Aar River, flowing west from one lake to the other, acts as a central artery, while the town itself lies in the direct gaze of the formidable trinity, the Eiger, Mönch, and Jungfrau. It's a landscape forged by immense patience and power, a foundation that first supported a 12th century monastery, and later, with the arrival of the first tourists in the 19th century, became the world's quintessential gateway to the Alps. Here, human history is not merely set against the mountains. It is a direct consequence of their slow, grinding creation. To truly grasp the essence of Yogyakarta, one must look beyond its vibrant streets to the invisible architecture that governs it. The city is consciously aligned along a sacred north-south axis, a potent cosmological line that serves as its spiritual spine. To the north looms the majestic and often volatile Mount Merapi, a powerful embodiment of the divine, the ancestral realm, and the fiery masculine force of creation. In direct opposition, the southern terminus is the vast Indian Ocean, the domain of the mystical queen of the Southern Sea, representing the chthonic, the fertile, and the profound feminine spirit. Positioned in perfect equilibrium between these two potent natural forces is the Kraton, the Sultan's palace. It is not merely a royal residence, but the city's very heart, a carefully constructed microcosm of the universe designed to mediate and harmonize these opposing energies. This deliberate orientation is a physical manifestation of Javanese. The rugged coastline of Monterey presents a dramatic meeting of land and sea, where granite cliffs plunge into churning surf and wind-sculpted cypress trees cling to the shore. But its true defining feature, the profound secret to its astonishing biodiversity, lies unseen beneath the waves. Just offshore, the continental shelf abruptly gives way to the Monterey Submarine Canyon, a colossal chasm that plunges more than 2 miles deep into the Earth's crust, rivaling the scale and grandeur of the Grand Canyon itself. Unlike most such deep-sea formations, which begin far out in the ocean, the canyon's head carves its way remarkably close to the coast. This unique proximity makes its influence not a distant phenomenon, but an immediate and profound force shaping the entire ecosystem. This immense underwater trench is therefore not merely a passive geological curiosity. It is the very engine of life for the bay, a dynamic system of immense power. Its steep, ancient walls act as a natural conduit, channeling and funneling frigid, nutrient-laden water from the abyssal depths upwards towards the sunlit surface. This powerful, persistent upwelling fuels a spectacular explosion of phytoplankton, the microscopic marine algae that form the absolute foundation of a food web so rich and complex it supports the iconic, swaying kelp forests, the swarms. The waters surrounding the Yaeyama archipelago, a name meaning many-layered mountains, possess a luminescence that defies simple description. Unlike the volcanic spine of mainland Japan, Ishigaki and its neighbors are the uplifted crowns of a vast, submerged limestone platform. For over 20 million years, layers of coral and marine life were compressed and then thrust upward by the immense pressure of the Philippine Sea Plate grinding against the Eurasian Plate. This ancient coral foundation is the very reason for the island's character. It carves out subterranean rivers and vast cave systems hidden beneath the sugarcane fields, while its slow erosion feeds the surrounding sea with the calcium essential for the new reefs to flourish. The result is a landscape built by life itself, where the boundary between geology and biology is almost indistinguishable. To stand here is to stand upon a monument to deep time, a testament to a slow, patient creation that continues with every wave and every new polyp of coral. A powerful reminder that this seemingly tranquil paradise was forged by some of the most formidable forces on our planet. To truly comprehend Lahore, one must look beyond the sprawling modern metropolis and into its ancient heart, the Androon Share, or the Walled City. This intricate core was fortified under the great Mughal Emperor Akbar in the 16th century, encircled by a formidable 9-meter-high brick wall and pierced by 13 monumental gates. For centuries, these gates were more than just entrances. They were a mechanism of control, locked at dusk to seal this city within a city into a self-contained universe of commerce, craft, and courtly life. Today, while the original walls have largely vanished, that medieval blueprint endures. The labyrinthine alleyways, too narrow for modern traffic, dictate a rhythm of life that remains intimately connected to its past. A place where the scent of cardamom and grilled meats mingles with the echo of history, proving that in Lahore, the past is not a foreign country. It is simply the foundation upon which the present is built. Dominating the horizon is the singular form of Morro Rock, a landmark so immense it seems less a feature of the landscape and more its creator. This is no ordinary mountain, but a dacite volcanic plug, the hardened throat of a volcano that last stirred some 23 million years ago. It is the final and most famous of the Nine Sisters, a chain of these ancient volcanic remnants that march inland, each a silent testament to a long-extinct volcanic field. Once an island, a man-made causeway now tethers it to the shore, but its wild nature endures. Declared a state historic landmark in 1968, its craggy heights are a protected nesting ground for peregrine falcons. Below, the rock forms a natural breakwater, creating the calm harbor that has defined this community for generations. It is more than a guidepost for sailors. It is the geological anchor of this place, an elder silently witnessing the passage of Salinan people, Spanish galleons, and the modern fishing fleet that still calls these protected waters home. Here, the world seems to turn not on an axis of land, but on a current of water. The Bosphorus, the strait that so famously separates Europe from Asia, is far more than a simple channel. Geologically, it is a remarkably young feature, a drowned river valley, inundated only some 7,500 years ago, when the Mediterranean Sea breached a terrestrial dam and flooded what was then a vast freshwater lake. This single, cataclysmic event created the Black Sea as we know it, and in doing so, forged the strategic artery that would give birth to 3 successive empires. Today, its deep, swift currents still dictate the city's rhythm, a constant procession of tankers and ferries charting a course through history itself. The silent, wooden yalis lining its shores are elegant witnesses to this ceaseless passage, a reminder that in Istanbul, the past is not a static monument, but a tide that never stops moving. Here, where the land ends and the sea begins, as the poet Luis de Camões immortalized it, you are standing at the westernmost point of the European mainland. But this is more than a simple geographical marker. The granite cliffs, plunging a sheer 140 meters into the churning Atlantic, are a testament to a relentless geological dialogue between continent and ocean. Notice the vegetation. There are no towering trees, only a hardy carpet of resilient flora like the sea thrift, adapted to survive the constant, salt-laced winds. This isn't a place of gentle transition, but of stark confrontation. For centuries, this raw edge of the world was the final, tangible piece of the known for Portuguese mariners before they committed themselves to the vast unknown. It represents a profound psychological threshold, a physical boundary that marked the very limits of certainty and the beginning of discovery. Emerging from the Flores Highlands, the 7 conical roofs of Wairibo seem to pierce the very clouds that shroud them. These are the Mbaru Nyang, architectural marvels that are far more than mere dwellings. Each of the 5 internal levels serves a distinct purpose, rising from the family living space at the base to the sacred ancestral offerings stored just beneath the peak. This vertical cosmology reflects a worldview brought here over 18 generations ago by their founder, Empu Maro, who led his people to this secluded sanctuary 1,200 meters above the sea. The village layout itself, a perfect circle of homes facing a central stone altar, is a physical manifestation of their communal philosophy, a system where every family is equal and interconnected. It is a design for living that has allowed the Manggarai people here to maintain a profound and unbroken connection to their traditions, a powerful reminder that for some, the most enduring structures are built not just from bamboo and palm fiber, but from a shared sense of identity. The Fijian archipelago, a constellation of over 330 islands, projects an image of consummate tranquility. Yet, this serenity is a mask for a violent and fiery genesis. These are not ancient, weathered land masses, but geological infants, born from immense volcanic pressure, where the Pacific Plate forces its way beneath the Indo-Australian Plate. This tectonic drama, which began some 150 million years ago, sculpted the dramatic landscapes we see today. The jagged, cloud-piercing peaks of Viti Levu are the eroded remnants of colossal volcanoes, and the deep, sheltered bays are often the flooded calderas of their collapsed hearts. This volcanic legacy is also the island's lifeblood, the rich, dark soil that nourishes the dense emerald rainforests and allows for such staggering biodiversity. It stands as a profound paradox that a place forged in such geological turmoil could become one of the planet's most enduring symbols of peace and natural harmony. Here, at the northernmost point of Unguja Island, the geography dictates a unique rhythm of life. While much of Zanzibar's coast is defined by dramatic tidal shifts that expose vast reefs for hours, Nungwi's position at the confluence of two ocean currents creates a deep water channel, largely immune to these extremes. This geological good fortune is the very reason the village became the historical heart of Zanzibar's dhow-building tradition. For centuries, master craftsmen have used this constant access to the sea to launch their hand-carved vessels, constructed not from blueprints, but from knowledge passed down through generations. The air carries the scent of fresh-cut mahogany and the percussive sound of the adze, a testament to a culture where the unchanging patterns of the ocean allowed a timeless craft to not only survive, but to flourish. It is a place where the landscape itself has provided the perfect, enduring stage for human ingenuity. Hokkaido exists as a world apart, a land forged in geological infancy compared to the ancient heart of Japan. Situated on the volatile Pacific Ring of Fire, its very foundation is a testament to immense tectonic power, a process that continues to shape its dramatic topography. This primordial energy is not an abstract concept here. It vents as steam from the fumaroles of Daisetsuzan National Park and fills the thousands of onsen that dot the island. This raw, untamed nature is precisely why mainland Japanese settlement only began in earnest less than 200 years ago, leaving vast tracts of wilderness that feel profoundly untouched. It is a unique tapestry where the deep history of the indigenous Ainu people is interwoven not with ancient temples, but with a landscape that is itself still being born, a constant quiet reminder of the planet's restless pulse. Tucked onto a small delta on the southern shore of Lake Brienz, the village of Iseltwald appears suspended in a world of impossible turquoise. This remarkable hue is no trick of the light, but a geological signature, the result of glacial flour, fine sediment ground by the immense weight of the air glacier, suspended in the water, scattering sunlight to create this luminous, otherworldly glow. First documented in the year 1146, the settlement's very name speaks to its geography, a compound of old German words for island and forest. For nearly 9 centuries, life here has been dictated by the rhythm of the lake and the steep, forested slopes of the Fallhorn and Schwarzhorn peaks that rise behind it. The result is a place where nature's raw power and quiet human history are not in opposition, but have instead merged into a single, serene composition, a living chronicle of stone, water, and wood. Christchurch unfolds across the Canterbury Plains, not by geographic chance, but by meticulous design. In the mid-19th century, a society of English aristocrats, the Canterbury Association, envisioned not merely a colony, but a perfect Anglican settlement transplanted to the far side of the world. The first settlers, arriving aboard the legendary first 4 ships in 1850, were part of a grand experiment to replicate the social and religious structures of southern England. This deliberate genesis is etched into the city's very soul. The gentle arc of the River Avon, the orderly street grid, and the enduring passion for gardens that earned its famous moniker. The Gothic Revival architecture that defined its skyline stood as a proud testament to that foundational vision. Today, this city, born from a blueprint of tradition, finds itself at the forefront of innovation, a place where a carefully plotted past provides the complex foundation for a future that could never have been foreseen. To ascend into Naltar is to witness a geological sleight of hand, a sudden dramatic shift from the arid grandeur of the Karakoram Highway to a realm of impossible color. The valley's true marvel lies in its chain of alpine lakes, beginning at an altitude of over 3,000 meters. These are not homogeneous bodies of water. Rather, they are a liquid spectrum, from a startling turquoise to a deep resonant sapphire. This chromatic variance is a direct result of their individual geology, a precise alchemy of glacial silt, varying depths, and the unique mineral content leached from the surrounding rock. Flanked by dense pine forests that seem an anomaly in this high-altitude desert, the valley serves as a potent reminder of how immense geological forces over countless millennia can conspire to create pockets of delicate, concentrated beauty. It's a landscape that doesn't just present a view, but tells the silent, patient story of its own creation. The Pyrenees are not merely a mountain range. They are a scar left by the slow-motion collision of continents. Roughly 50 million years ago, the Iberian microplate, carrying what is now Spain and Portugal, drifted north and ground into the vast Eurasian landmass. The immense pressure of this tectonic event buckled the crust, thrusting layers of ancient seabed and granite skyward to form the peaks we see today. This violent birth explains the range's distinct character, a relatively narrow but formidable barrier, rising with dramatic abruptness, particularly on the French side. It's a geological reality that for millennia has dictated everything from weather patterns to the flow of empires, creating a 300-mile-long crucible where unique cultures and ecosystems have been forged in relative isolation, shaped by the inexorable power of the planet itself. The great camphor wood torii of Itsukushima appears to float on the tide, a serene gateway not just to a shrine, but to an entire sacred island. For centuries, Miyajima itself was considered a deity, its soil too holy for commoners to tread upon. The solution, realized in its current form in the 12th century by the powerful warlord Taira no Kiyomori, was one of elegant spiritual engineering. Build the shrine over the water. This allows pilgrims to approach by boat, passing through the gate without defiling the divine land. The result is a structure in constant dialogue with the sea. Its interconnected corridors and platforms, designed in the refined Shinden-zukuri style of Heian period palaces, seem to drift on the high tide, their vermilion pillars reflected in the shifting waters below. This is more than a feat of construction. It is a physical manifestation of a deep Shinto reverence for nature, a sanctuary designed not to conquer the landscape, but to dissolve into it, perpetually yielding to the rhythm of the ocean.